Good morning, Atkinson Elementary School. How are you guys today? Awesome. Well, we are thrilled to have a special guest this morning. He is a Minnesota author who has had 19 books published in the Lucky Luke Hunting and Fishing Adventure series. His books have been the most requested series in our library. He uses his love of outdoor adventures to inspire kids to read and have adventures of their own. Let's welcome Kevin Lovegreen.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me back there? Perfect, right? All right. All right, well, I'm excited to be here, but one quick correction. 21 books have been published, but that's all right. It's tough to keep up even for me sometimes. So very cool. I'm really excited to be here. How many people have ever been to the Mall of America? Anybody? All right, you guys. I live in Eagan, Minnesota, 15 minutes from the Mall of America. That's where I live. So now you know where I came from this morning. It was a beautiful 3.5-hour drive up. I got to see a whole bunch of geese and ducks migrating. That was pretty cool. All right, so oh boy, we got a lot going on here. So let's see, first of all, how many people have read or seen one of the Lucky Luke Adventure books? Nice, I like it. All right, so we've got a whole bunch of books and couple of things about Lucky Luke's adventures. Number one, do we know they're based on true stories? Yeah, you guys, I went into a school a couple years ago, and a teacher ran up to me, and I thought for sure I ran in the wrong door. And I said, what? He goes, did the moose really roll over the car in Fishing Frenzy? I said, yep, it really happened. He goes, we can't believe this stuff. I'm going to tell you guys that all kinds of crazy things have happened to me over my life, hunting and fishing, and I believe that they've all happened so I could write you guys these books, but it took me a long time to do it because I did not start writing until I was 42 years old. But let's see, how many people, so Lucky Luke, he's the main guy? You guys, Lucky Luke is real. He's my 23-year-old son. He goes to school in Rapid City, South Dakota. The crazy part is we always called him Lucky Luke, and that's why I chose the name. But the other crazy part is I'm Luke in most of the adventures because they're based on mine, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. And let me know if this thing is it going okay? Good? Okay. So let's see. And then how many people have read about Crystal in any of the books? All right, you guys, Crystal is my real daughter. She's 25 years old. She's a teacher in Georgia. She loves hunting and fishing. Now here's the crazy part. My books are fiction, which means they're made up, even though they're based on real stories, because has anybody read Rooster before? Okay, Crystal and Sid are in Rooster, right? But they never came pheasant hunting us with it, you guys. My buddies and I always went pheasant hunting. The whole story happens same place that we used to hunt, but I love girl power, so I love adding Crystal to almost every book. And I've even gotten a little bit in trouble to some people because I keep making her the hero, so I gotta be careful, I guess, about that. But, all right, let's see. So Lucky Luke and Crystal are real. I've been writing books, you guys, for 11 years. And yes, we've got 21 books. So we've got these. We've got, anybody seen The Best Day Ever? That's my newest chapter book. That came out on Thanksgiving. Fun story to write. And now this is kind of funny. I'm laughing, you guys. When I drive, I drive sometimes and don't even remember where I am. But we are not that far from Bemidji, Minnesota, are we? How far? A couple hours? You guys, most of these books, at least 5 of them, happened in Bemidji, Minnesota. Do you guys know where Bemidji is? You heard of that? Yes. So it's fun for me to be in northern Minnesota, especially The Best Day Ever happened in that spot, for sure. And then I got a couple faith books. Graham introduced me to my friend Jesus and Give Faith a Chance. And then the newest book was Fishing with Grandpa. You've seen that one, huh? So we had Fishing with Dad. So we had to do Fishing with Grandpa because that was so popular, and now I got to decide if it's Fishing with Grandma or Fishing with Mom. I'm not sure what the next one is. But also, you guys are the second school to get to hear. I finally finished another chapter book, and my marketing team hates when I give out the name, but I think it's going to be called Fishing for Monsters. It's about me catching my biggest fish that I've ever caught in my life, and that just went to the editing process literally 2 days ago. So that book's coming around the corner. Keep your eyes open for that. All right, so let's see. I did not just wake up one day, you guys, and say, today's the day I'm going to write a book. It did not happen that way. Here's what happened. I sold a business 11 years ago. When I sold the business, you guys, I was out of a job, and I needed something to do. So I went to hire a life coach. And all a life coach does, you guys, is try to ask me questions that so she might find out what might inspire me, what I might want to do in the future. But the life coach asked me a crazy question that day. And think about this if somebody asks you this. What do you have or do that's different than anybody else? And somebody might say, oh, I've got a dog, I got a horse, I got a brother or sister. Well, when she asked me the question, what do I have or do that's different than anybody else? Today I still giggle about it, but the only thing that popped in my head is I said, I've got this journal I started when I was 12 years old, and I now call it my magic journal. I went on my first whitetail deer hunt, you guys. How many people are from a hunting family? Yeah, a bunch of you? You guys, when I went on my first whitetail deer hunt, my dad took me off into the swamp. I had so much fun that weekend, I did not want to forget it, so I came home and wrote it all down in my journal. But then I went on the second week of deer camp, and I had just as much fun, and I did not want to forget a thing, so I wrote it all down in my journal. Crazy thing is, I kept writing in my journal of all my hunting and fishing adventures until I was 30 years old, you guys. So that life coach that day said, I don't know what it means, but nobody else has one of those. You better go figure it out. So I had to go find this thing, because I didn't even know where it was at the time. And then I told my friend, and she said, oh, you got to meet my mom. My mom writes children's books. And I said, what does that have to do with me? You guys, my business was metal fabrication. Means nothing to you, but we built things like conveyor systems. Not anything to do with hunting or fishing. She said, just meet my mom. You might want to write stories about your adventures. I met her mom. Her mom's name was Alice. She's a firecracker of a lady. She said, I got 30 minutes of my lunch break. You sit down. We're going to get you to write a book. Okay, Alice. And in 30 minutes, she was so exciting, and her energy was so filled with excitement from writing her books that when we got done with 30 minutes, she looked me square in the eye, and she said, is there any reason now you shouldn't go home and write one book? And I couldn't say no to Alice, you guys. So I said, fine, I'll do it, Alice. I got in my car. I called my wife and said, honey, guess what? I'm going to write a children's book. And you know what my wife did? She laughed at me, you guys. She said, how are you going to do that? I said, I have no idea, but I'm going to figure it out. And all because of this journal, this crazy adventure started, and now we're 21 books into it, you guys. So we've got kindergarten all the way back to 6th grade, right? So a bunch of different levels here. But if you guys haven't started journaling, I'm going to encourage you to start journaling, or one day when you get really good at writing, right, you can start journaling. And the key is 3 magical things come out of journaling. Number 1, you get to practice your writing. And I'd like to go back to look at how I used to write when I was a kid. But number 2, what you write in your journal, you guys, you will remember when you get old like me. But if you don't write it down, you probably won't remember. But more importantly, what you've already written in a journal, or what you might write in a journal one day, might inspire you guys to do something magical like mine did. So journaling is fun, and it's cool, and that's what started me on this whole adventure. All right, let's talk about what we're going to do today. We are going to talk about writing stories. How many people here have written a story before? I hope everybody, right? Yeah, so we're going to talk about stories, but then I'm going to take it to the next level, show you guys the team and the effort it takes for me to get a book published. And then we're going to talk about where my stories came from, because I already told you they're based on true adventures, so we could talk, I could sit and talk about them all day long, but we'll pick on 3 of them. And then oh boy, you guys see up here, I brought my game calls. I bring this everywhere. We are going to do the famous animal call challenge. I'm going to do a game call. You get to guess what kind of animal and whether it's a boy or a girl, and then I'm going to show you a live video of these animals doing their call in the wild, and that's super cool and a fun way to bring the whole hunting theme back together. And that's going to be fun. And then don't you worry. It's going to be chaotic, and it's going to be fun, but we're going to have plenty of time for open questions with all you guys at the end, and we'll try to answer as many questions as I can. Does that sound good? Are you guys ready to go? Okay, let's get moving. This is very funny, because by the way, this is the biggest auditorium I've ever presented in, because normally I run right up there and start talking to you guys up there, but don't worry, I can see you. All right, so when you're going to write a story, what is the first thing that we need to come up with when we go to write a story? First thing. I'm going to go right there. First thing. Yeah, what's it going to be about, right? We got to pick the topic. Now, when you pick a topic, do you want to pick something that's boring or something you like? What do you think? Boring or something you like? Yeah, something you like. So now, you guys probably know by now, I love writing about hunting and fishing, and maybe you do also. But is there a possibility that if you wanted to make up a fun story, could you make up a story about a puppy like that, maybe? Maybe. How about, does anybody here like bunnies? Is there a possibility that if you want to make up a funny story, could you make one up about a bunny that sticks his tongue out like that guy? So by the way, I've never had a screen this nice, so I might turn around and watch this whole presentation too, because that's pretty cool seeing it that big. Now, does anybody here play sports? Back sports, you guys? So, is there a possibility you want to make up a sporting story? Here's the story I've been asking. Will somebody please write me a story of the Minnesota Vikings winning the Super Bowl? Please. How about, does anybody like to read about things that are out of this world? Like maybe Harry Potter? So maybe you want to make up your own new world. You can do it. Here's the key. The key is pick a story you like. And number one, you'll write a way better story, but more importantly, number two, you're going to have way more fun writing that story. Now, step number two, after you pick that story of maybe that rabbit sticking his tongue out. Since we got kindergartens all the way up to sixth grade, we're going to kind of coast through this a little bit, but we want to organize our thoughts. Is there a couple of ways that you guys can figure out how could you organize your words and your thoughts before you attack writing? What do you think? You thought about it, then no? What do you think? Organize our thoughts. How can we do it? Maybe somebody, come on, how about you guys in the back? In sixth grade, do you guys create outlines? Bubble graphs? No? Yeah, maybe bubble graphs? There's a million ways, you guys. We can do an outline, but here's the deal. For especially you kindergarten, first and second graders, and you guys in the back also, the key is, if we organize our thoughts with the old who, what, right? The who, what, where, when, we can put why down. That's a really fun way to organize our thoughts before we attack and we start writing. But even you guys, I've heard you beginning, middle, and end, all kinds of fun ways that you and your teachers will work out on how to organize your thoughts before you write. But more importantly, let's jump to step number 3. And you know what that is? Step number 3, you guys, is simply writing the story. Now, what happens if you don't write anything? What can I read? Nothing, right? You guys, here's what happened. I wrote Winter, Winter, Turkey Dinner, Turkey Tales, The Swamp. I was flying writing books, and then kids kept asking, will you please write a fishing book? And I said, yep, I got all kinds of fishing ideas, but I didn't do it, you guys, for a long time, until finally one crazy morning, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, because I like to get up early. And I tiptoed out of bed so I didn't wake up my wife, and I said, today's the day, and I went downstairs, grabbed a cup of coffee, and I walked into my little office, and I set the coffee down. I never drink it, but there it sat, and I said, today's the day, I'm going to write a fishing book. And don't worry, I had some ideas in my head, but it was the time to start. And I found that when I start writing, you guys, I forget about eating, drinking, and time. Think about that. If you can find a job where you forget about eating, drinking, and time, you found the greatest job ever, so please search for that one day. But for me, 4 o'clock turned into 7 o'clock like that, and I forgot to wake Lucky Luke and Crystal up for school. So I kind of panicked, ran upstairs, I got Lucky Luke and Crystal downstairs, breakfast, and by the time my wife and kids had breakfast and I got them out the door, I went back into my office to see what I'd done, and I realized that I'd written almost all of Fish On by simply starting the story. So there's a word that you guys don't know, but you guys might, and it's called procrastination. And that means putting things off that you're supposed to do. So pick the story you like, organize your thoughts, and you guys attack and write your story because you can always go back and change it. Now, if you write, and I know you've heard this in your classroom, if you're writing one paragraph or 5 pages, the minute it's done, are you ready to turn it into your teacher? No. What has to happen? What has to happen after you're done? Edit it. I heard it. Edit it, right? You guys, we got to proofread our writing. You know what that means? That means we go through it to make sure that we wrote the best we can write. So I'm going to encourage you guys that there's a magic rule of thumb. How many times do you think you should go through a story before you turn it in to your teacher? How many times? How many? So close. Less than 6, more than 2. I heard it. Someone said 3 back there, didn't they? You guys, 3 times is a magic rule of thumb, but I'm going to tell you that it's not just skim through it. I'm telling you that I want you to take your time, especially you 6th graders back there, 5th graders, and go through. And each time you go through it, you guys, make sure you add as much detail as you can. And you put all your effort into making sure the spelling is right, and make sure that you do the best work you can do. And I promise you, if you go through it 3 times, you will turn in something that's way better than if you didn't. All right, now, how many times do you get, whoa, okay, I always jump right to that. It's so funny, why do I do that each time? The next thing I do, I go through my stuff, you guys, probably 20 times, I suppose, a lot. But then I send my work off to a professional editor. That's what authors need to do to make sure that our work is the best it can be. And without a professional editor, I'm in trouble, you guys. Angela's my editor. She is amazing. She's probably done my last 10 books. And when Angela gets a hold of my work, you guys, she makes me look good. That's why I like Angela. But she'll take my words, you guys. And I hope you don't have this many marks on your paper, but this is what I don't mind. You guys, sometimes Angela will take out whole paragraphs. She'll for sure massage every sentence. She writes me notes over on the side, says, hey, you described that turkey pretty well, or you know what? I think you missed the boat. Maybe you should try it again. We talk on the side, we redo it, and we go back and forth, and by the time it's done, I promise you guys, it's a way better story than I could ever do myself, and that's why I love my editor. Now, how many times you guys think that I had to go back and forth with my editor on the swamp before it's ready for you guys to read? How many times? What do you think? 6? He said it. He nailed it on the first try. 6 times, you guys, back and forth. And all those years ago, my editor reminded me, our name's in the book also, so we got to make sure that everything's right. And I said, okay, I get it. So I love the editing process. I guarantee you, if you run into any author, ask them, hey, do you like your editor? I bet you they tell you, no, we love our editors. Every one of them, guarantee you. All right, now, I want to raise the hands. How many people here can draw or paint really well? I want to see everybody who can draw or paint really well. All right, keep your hands up if you can make an animal look like an animal and a person look like a person. All right, that's pretty good, a lot of you. Okay, you can put your hands down. Here's what happened. I did The Swamp, you guys, my first book. I had all the words edited, and then they told me, and I always laugh, who's they? Yes, they told me to go through every single page, and I needed to draw the pictures so the real artist, called the illustrator, could draw the pictures that I wanted. I said, no problem. I got them all in my mind, and I started drawing. The problem is that I can't draw it all. And my first illustrator looked at that and started laughing at me and said, what am I looking at? I said, come on, you can't tell that's Uncle Jim banging on a pot and pan, trying to wake up Luke and Vernon, laying there getting ready to go hunting. And he said, no, but thank you for describing it to me. And then he did this. Whoa, right? So then he was done with books. It was way too hard for him. He was a 19-year-old kid. I had to find somebody else, and I found, you guys, Margarita. And Margarita was from Russia. She is from Russia. She's now been here 10 or 11 years. Little did I know that the first book Margarita ever did was my Turkey Tales book. But Margarita, you guys, saw my stick figures, and she said, buddy, no more stick figures. She goes, I'm a professional. You simply stick to writing. Tell me what page you want a picture on. See if I can come up with a picture. And I said, thank you, Margarita. That's way easier for me. Well, you guys, the first book, like I said, was Turkey Tales. The picture I'm going to show you is this. Lucky Luke and Dad simply drive back behind the farm. They pull up to the trailer house they're going to stand, and there's a flock of turkeys in the field. And I said, Margarita, need a picture. And literally in 1 hour, you guys, she sent me this and said, is that what you have in mind? I said, Margarita, that's exactly what I have in mind. I will put that in the book. And she said, not a chance. Give me a week. You didn't pay me to do that. And a week later, she sent me this. Whoa, right? So one more example. How many people have read Frozen Fun, maybe? Quite a few of you. How many people here have ever been in an ice house ice fishing before? All right. You guys, when I'm in Texas and I'm down in Florida, in a place like that, they ain't never been in an ice house. They all shake their head and they think we're crazy, by the way. But in Frozen Fun, there's a spot where Lucky Luke, Crystal, and their friend get to go in a spear fishing house. And they experience all the coolness of inside a spear fishing house. But I said, Margarita, I think there's so many kids that have never been inside one. I need a picture. Because you know what the old saying is? A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So I said, Margarita, here's the deal. It's like you're inside a little fish house, 8 by 8 maybe. There's no windows. We cut out a huge chunk of ice. We throw it out the door, and when we shut the door, it's pitch black, but then the sun shines through the water. And we're looking down like we're looking into an aquarium. We use a really cool lure we drop in the water. We pull it up and down, and it goes in a circle. And we hope a giant northern pike comes in. We got this really cool spear. We spear him, and we pull him up. It's a great thing. I said, can you give me a picture? First thing she does, thanks, buddy. I've never been in a nice house before. So she goes, but I will research it, and this is what she came up with, you guys. So that, I always say, it looks like she snapped it, somehow does a black and white picture, but there's that cool spear. There's a northern pike that we did not take because he's part of the story. Those of you who read it, I won't give it away. And anyway, that neat little lure, but wouldn't you agree that Margarita did a pretty good job there? Yep. Now, here's the deal. How many people raised your hand again and said you can draw or paint really well? I want to see those hands up again. You guys, guess what? You are young, and if you've got the ability to do this, practice, you guys. And if you practice hard enough, maybe one day you'll illustrate a book, maybe you'll do something magical in marketing or some other job. I have no idea what you might do with your skill, but I sure don't have the skill to do that. So if you do, practice and have fun and do something magical with it. All right, now, step number 8. Oh my goodness. What do you think a designer does for an author? What do we think? What do we think? I got to get somebody in the back. Hold on, I'm going back. What do we think? What do we think? Right there. What do you think a designer does? Yep. The cover. You nailed it, you guys. It's right. This is perfect because I can talk and you guys have to keep an eye. Look up there. There's the covers. So Jay is my designer, you guys. Jay has done every one of my books. His ultimate goal is to make the cover cool. Now, I sent the swamp off. Look at that upper left corner. When I sent it to Jay, you guys, it was a Word document. It was papers. Jay sent me that back. He put Lucky Luke's 100 Adventures in green, the swamp in red. He actually even put that deer in there. That was from inside the book. But look at Big Bare Feet. Margarita draws the amazing picture of the bear and the porcupine, the cool sunlight coming through. But Jay's job is to put the words on it and make it look cool. And then, when you do a 2-page spread in a picture book and you open it up and all those words flow, Jay's job is to make sure the words flow. The designer is a huge part of the puzzle, an important part of our team to make the books cool for you guys. All right, last but not least, we're going to quickly skim through this, but I have a printer that all we want as a printer to do is print thousands of copies for you guys so you can read them over and over again and the pages don't fall out. That is our ultimate goal. Now, more importantly, why do I tell you guys this? Does it take one person to make a book? No. Does it take a whole team? Yes. Who's the first person in that team? The author, right? Who makes me look good and the word's awesome? The editor, I heard it. Who does amazing pictures? Who does it makes the covers cool? Yep, last but not least, the printer, right? The key is, you guys, I guarantee you that by the looks of this theater, you guys got a beautiful library, don't you? Is it full of books? Next time you walk in that library full of books, stop for 1 minute and think about all those books in that library and realize that a team came together to put each and every one of those books into your guys' hands. And I hope after today you appreciate books just a little bit more. All right, who's ready to talk about the stories? Are we ready? All right, raise the hands. How many people have read Winter, Winter, Turkey Dinner, or Turkey Tales, or hadn't read to them? All right, handful of you. How many people are going turkey hunting or have gone? Anybody go turkey hunting yet? Has anybody got their turkey? Anybody? Anybody got a turkey yet? Oh, you do. You guys got turkeys? All right, so here's the deal. You guys, this is a really special story for me because it was finally Luke's real story when Luke was 10 years old. How many people are 10 here? I want to get an eyeball of 10-year-olds. All right, you're all back there. When Luke was 10 years old, we took him on his first turkey hunt. I did. And we went out to the field, and I'm going there tomorrow. I'm kind of excited about this because turkeys are there. And instantly, when I started calling, I heard turkeys gobble. Has anybody heard a turkey gobble before? All right, right? So when you hear the turkey gobble, do you know he's there? Yes. So you guys, we ran down the field. I peeked down the trail, and there's a bunch of turkeys down there gobbling away. So I grabbed the hen decoy that looks just like the female turkey, and I stuck it out in the trail. And I didn't want them to see us, and we ran back, and we hid. And instantly, they saw that decoy, you guys, and they started running down the trail to us, and I thought this is going to be the easiest hunt ever. And instantly, these two turkeys showed up. Does anybody know the name of these two turkeys? What is it? Say it loud back there. So close. One more try. What are they called? Starts with a J. It's a Jake. It's a Jake, you guys. So it's a young tom turkey called a Jake. Do you see those tufts of hair coming out of the chest? Do you guys know that those are called beards on a turkey? And when the beard is only an inch or two long, it's legal to shoot because that's how we identify whether it's a boy. We can only shoot the boy turkeys in the springtime. But what we were looking for, you guys, oh boy, we are looking for a beard like this one because the bigger the beard, the bigger the bird. So I knew the giant tom was there, you guys. I could hear his boom and gobble. All I needed is these two turkeys to keep on going and the big guy to show up, and it was going to be a great day for Lucky Luke. But there was a problem. All of a sudden, those turkeys turned and they looked right at Lucky Luke and I, and they're only about 6-7 steps away. I'm like, oh no, how do they see us? We were tucked perfectly back there. And I slowly look over at Lucky Luke, He's now trying to hold up his gun, and he's shaking. I'm like, oh, no, they see us. And when they see us, turkeys are weary birds, you guys. They want to get out of there, and they start clucking. And when a turkey starts clucking, then I know he's going to leave. So they're starting to get ready to leave. They're running in circles even, and they can't figure out what's going on, but they now know something's not right. And now I got a decision to make. Do I quickly let Lucky Luke just take one of these turkeys? It would have been legal and be his first turkey. Or do I wait and see if the big guy shows up? And as I'm trying to figure this out, I look over through the weeds, and I see the big guy coming. And he's peeking around the corner to see what those two turkeys were so mad at. And all of a sudden, do you know what happened? I can't give away the end of the story. You got to read the story to find out what happened. I know, but hold on. What I will tell you, it was the greatest hunting day of Lucky Luke's life. So it worked out pretty good, but I want you guys to read the story to find out. I don't want to give it away. All right. Now, where are we going? Fishing. Oh, my gosh. Remember I told you guys it took me a long time to write a fishing book? Well, now I've got a whole bunch of them. You guys, we got fish on. We got Snake River, or Fishing Frenzy. How many people have caught a walleye here? All right, that's all up in Canada, walleye fishing. Has anybody caught a trout fly fishing before? Yeah, you guys back there? That's a Snake River Challenge in Idaho. Frozen fun, spear fishing in ice fishing, catching Big Bubba. You guys catching Big Bubba. Tell you what, Lucky Luke and Crystal couldn't go to the cabin after school was done for the summer. For the school for summer. So they called up their cousins, and they said, come on over, we're going to go fish in the local lake. So they all snuck up to the lake and looked down, and there was a giant bass, huge bass in the water. They snuck back and went, oh my goodness, we got to come up with a plan how to catch them. And then the older boy showed up and he said, what are you guys doing? We said, there's a giant fish out there. He goes, oh, that's not any fish. That's Big Bubba. We've been trying to catch Big Bubba for 2 years. So the goal for the summer was, can we catch Big Bubba? And you will be very surprised, possibly, who gets Big Bubba. Anyway, that was a fun one. The best day ever, all kinds of stuff happened on the best day ever, but we do end it by doing a northern pike fishing adventure in our little sneaky lake up by Bemidji, and somebody catches a northern pike of a lifetime. Can't give that one away either. But let's talk about this one. How many people have read Fish On? All right, a lot of you guys, this is the most popular book I have, and it's been around for a long time. But let's talk about this for a minute, because this is a crazy story also. So there's the real Lucky Luke, you guys. And he is holding what kind of fish? A largemouth bass. But more importantly, behind us is my grandparents' lake, you guys. There was only 4 cabins on it, tiny little lake. And it was loaded with bass. I believe, to this day, if the water dried up, I think we could walk on top of all the fish across the lake. That's how many fish I believe in this lake. And I could catch them all day. And one morning I woke up early. And I tiptoed out of bed. I didn't want to wake my brother up. And I went to the living room, and there my grandpa was, drinking his coffee, eating a cookie. That's what he does in the morning, looking down at that magical lake. And he said, it's a perfect day. You better go down there and go fishing. And that's what I did. I ran down the big hill. I hopped in my paddle boat, and I went out, and I started using my new lure called a Bassarino. It's a big lure. Bass love it. My grandpa got it for me. And I started catching fish right away. It was a magical morning. And all of a sudden, I go to make a big, long cast, and it hits the water, and I start reeling fast, and bam, I get to set the hook because I get a bite, and my line breaks. What kind of fish are in our Minnesota waters that break our lines? What kind? Not a piranha. What kind? A northern pike. You are right, but why did I know it was a northern pike, you guys? Because all of a sudden, out of the blue, with my giant Bassarino stuck in its mouth, that northern pike jumped up out of the water right in front of me and splashed. And I went, oh, that was one of the coolest things I ever got to see. But my Bassarino's gone. Oh, it floats, though. And a couple minutes later, after I tie a new lure on, I look over, and it's floating on the water. I figured for sure it fell out of the fish's mouth by now, right? So I paddle over all excited. I get a boat length away, and I realize, no, it's still attached to the fish. And in the crystal clear water, it swims right past me with that giant lure hanging out of its mouth. And I went, well, that was one of the coolest things I got to see, but my lure's still gone. A couple minutes go by. I look over again. There it is again, floating on the water. Figured for sure it fell out of the fish's mouth. Paddle over, boat length away. Nope, still attached, swims away. I think the fish is teasing me, you guys. But now this is where things get crazy. Probably a half an hour went by. I was catching fish, and I actually forgot about that lure, till all of a sudden I look over, and there's that lure again, floating on the water. And I went, man, I got to do something different. All of a sudden, I realized, there was no wind. There wasn't a breath of wind, and the water was crystal clear until magically at that moment, the wind started blowing right at the lure. Crazy. I said, maybe I can use the wind. So I put my rod down, one push of the oars, grabbed my green net, and I stuck in the water, and I let the wind quietly blow me to that fish. Now, this is crazy. And when I got a boat length away, I could still see him. This time, he didn't swim away, you guys. He went down like a submarine. There he was. And I thought I had a chance. And I got closer, and I got closer. And you know what happened? I can't give that story away either, can I? No way. Not a chance, I tell you. But, hold on. Here's what I'll tell you. There is a very good chance that this is that Basserino from that day. My grandpa never believed it happened. I'm here to tell you guys it really happened, and now I'm totally convinced that it only happened so I can write you guys the book Fish On, because who, at 12 years old, has crazy things like that happen to him? Me, so I can write you guys the books, but I hope you get to read Fish On to find out how I got this baby really back. All right, now, do you guys like fishing? Yes. There's my wife, Sue, holding a rainbow trout, and the Snake River's behind us. I want to know what your favorite part of fishing is. What's your favorite part of fishing? Do you have one? What is it? Catching the fish? All right, what's your favorite part? Catching them? What's your favorite part? Holding the fish. Yep, holding the slimy fish. Kissing them and putting them back. I do that all the time. Boom, and off they go. Yes. Hug the fish, especially if you get a big one. Yes. What? Just reeling them. Yeah. Eating crappies. They're one of my favorites too. Yes, favorite part. What do you think? What's your favorite part? Do you have one? What's that? Catching them maybe? Okay. Favorite part?
I really like ice fishing.
Ice fishing, that's her favorite part. Yes. Catching the fish, way in the back. Favorite part, let's get a couple more. Okay, what's your favorite part?
Eating
Eating, oh, eating candy while you're fishing. I've heard that a couple times, yes. Catching the fish, favorite part?
spending time with my dad.
Spending time with Dad. How about you?
Seeing the fish.
Getting the fish?
Seeing the fish fly.
Seeing the fish fly. Oh my goodness.
Eating treats on the rain.
Oh, what's that?
Eating drinks.
Eating drinks and drinking. Okay, one more.
When me and my uncle finally catch big fish.
When me and my uncle finally catch big fish. Okay, sorry, I can't get to everybody. Oh my gosh. Okay, one more, go. What's your favorite part of fishing? Catching the fish. You guys, here's the crazy thing. When Crystal was your age, sorry, I can't get to everybody. When she was your age, we fished all the time. But guess what? Somebody came out fishing with us each and every time we went. You know who it was? Taylor Swift came out fishing with us. Yep. You know why? Crystal had to listen to music every time we went out, and I know every Taylor Swift song because she couldn't stop playing music. And that's okay. If you like music and you like fishing, you get out there and you have fun doing it. All right. Who's read The Muddy Elk? Oh my gosh, not everybody. You guys, this could be the craziest story ever. All right, can I share this one with you? Yeah. All right. Picture yourself climbing to the top of a 10,000-foot mountain, and there's an elk like that standing there, you guys, and you have to get close to that elk because I hunt with a bow and arrow. So literally, I need to be here to that wall away, I suppose, right? You got to get close. It took me years to get close enough to an elk to finally get a shot, and here's what happened on that crazy day. I'm standing at the top of the mountain. I know this place well, and I hear a bull elk bugle. How many people here have heard a bull elk bugle? How many people have not heard a bull elk bugle? Oh my goodness. Okay, enough of you guys. Hold on. I got to give away one call, the animal call challenge, because we need you to pretend that you know what this sounds like. So picture that elk, and then he does this. And that echoes through the whole mountain. You guys, when I hear that, I know the elk is there. So what we do is we start running to that elk. So I start running down the mountain. The problem is, how many people have hiked high in a mountain before out west? Can you breathe really well? No, you guys, so halfway down, I couldn't breathe anymore. Even if the elk was standing there, I couldn't shoot it. I'm trying to catch my breath, and I'm just about going crazy because he's still bugling. And then I look over, and there's elk antlers in the grass. What is going on? So I get down on my knees, I hide behind a tree, and you guys, an elk stands up. I would have ran right past that elk. I had no idea he was there. He was in a muddy puddle called a wallow. And all of a sudden, he jumps back down in the puddle. He flips on his back, and he starts going crazy. And mud's flying everywhere. And I'm sitting there watching this happen, probably 20 yards away going, you can't make this up. Here we go again. I get to see something most people don't. And I'm watching this, and all of a sudden, you guys, a thought went through my mind. Wait a minute. If I get this elk, he's going to look pretty muddy for the picture. Hence the name Muddy Elk. Well, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he jumps up and starts running away. And I don't want him to run away, right? So I have to stop him. So I go, "Yew!" And I make noise. And he stops dead in his tracks. But over there, the tree I was hiding behind's right here. There's nothing between me and that elk but my bow and arrow. And I try to get as skinny as I can. I figure he's just going to see me run away, but he doesn't run away, you guys. He just sits there and stares at me. So now my heart is pounding out of my chest because now I know he knows I'm there. And I don't know what to do. And all of a sudden, minutes go by and he won't leave, so I have to try something else. So I look behind me and go, "Ew," and I make noise back there. Now the problem is it worked too good because now he walks right up to me. And now he's probably, here to my computer away. Problem is he's way up here. And I'm looking up at him, and he's looking down at me. And I can hear him sniffing, you guys. I think he's trying to smell me. I don't know what he's doing, but what I'm doing, my heart now isn't only pounding out of my chest. Now I'm shaking uncontrollably because I've never been this close to an elk before. I don't know if he's going to run me over, if he's going to run away. I don't know what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, do you know what happened? You know I can't tell the end of that story. You got to read it. No way. I'll give you one hint. Here it is. It was the best hunting day of my life. So I hope you guys get to read it to find out what happened. All right. Who is ready for the Animal Call Challenge? Are we ready? This sound system is going to be awesome. Okay, we start out easy. Happens to be a Lucky Luke call that I had made. They sold out right away, and I got to get some more, but here we go. Ready? And I do not hunt sheep, lamb, or goats. Ready? What do you think? Way in the back. Yell. Hold on. What do you think? Not a duck. What do you think? A deer. Could this be a white-tailed deer? You guys, this is a white-tailed buck grunt call. This is how the game works, and this is what he looks like. Check it out. How many people have ever got to see or hear a white-tailed buck do that? Super cool, right? Here's the deal. In Minnesota, do you guys know that over 350,000 of us crazy hunters hit the woods for November opening weekend, and I guarantee you probably half have one of those calls in their pockets because it works really well to bring the deer closer to us. All right. Now, what do we think this one is? Ready? All right, I heard turkey, and you are right, but now we got a decision to make. Is this the boy turkey, the tom, or the girl turkey, the hen? We need to raise who yelps, the boy turkey or the girl turkey? Who doesn't know? All right, only the girl turkey yelps, and here she is. Ready, go. Listen up, she's a little quiet. Now, here's the deal. How many of you turkey hunters have used a call like that to call in a turkey or seen it happen, right? All right, for you non-turkey hunters, here's the deal, and I'm going to be using this call tomorrow. In the springtime, right now, the boy turkeys are out there looking for girl turkeys, and we want to sound like his girlfriend, and that's what that call does. All right. Now, here's another Lucky Luke call I had made. Are you ready? Here we go. It is. All right. Now, this is a mallard duck call. The boy mallard has that beautiful green head. The hen has got all brown, right? She's brown. We need to decide, does the boy quack, the girl quack, or do they both quack? Are you guys ready for this? Raise the hands. Hold on. How many people believe that the boy quacks? How many people believe the girl quacks? How many people think they both quack? It's a tricky call. 80% of the hunting dads get it wrong when I do it at sports shows. Only the girl quacks. Now, here's the boy. Now, he's not so tough. Listen up. He's kind of quiet. They call that a whistle, I guess. He looks cool, but he's not that tough, right? All right. Now, are you guys ready for this one? Let's see if I can do the microphone. Ready? Hold Hold on. Hold on. And remember, I don't hunt goat, sheep, or lambs. Ready? Does that sound better? All right. Hold on. Raise a hand. Who thinks they got this? All right. What do you think? A what? Say a goat, not a goat. Not a sheep. I said I don't hunt goats or sheep or lambs. What do you think? A deer. How many people think this could be a white-tailed doe? How many people say you're crazy? There's no way it's a white-tailed doe. I think this white-tailed doe is crazy, but check this one out. All right. Now, hold on. That is funny. Hold on. That's funny. I got to watch the rest of the video. Her fawn was sucking on the other side of a fence. They got their way back together. Everybody was happy. I love showing that because, number one, it's funny. But number two, that's how loud a white-tailed doe can be if they want to be. But that call works really good in the fall, hoping that a deer thinks that a doe's around. Maybe a buck will come in and check it out. Works pretty good. All right. What are these? Where do you think I got them? Where? Hold on to the back. Where? I didn't get them from the buck. Where do you think I got them? All right, I heard it. Hold on. These are shed antlers. The bottoms are rounded. They fell off the deer's head, and I found them in the woods, you guys. So do you know that this time of year, probably by now they're already done, everything with antlers, but think about this, deer, moose, elk, they all shed their antlers because they don't need them for fighting anymore, and then they grow a whole nother setback every year. It's crazy, and usually they're bigger. This is the only full set I've ever found on our property in Sandstone, Minnesota, and now that I have these, I can use them out hunting and do this. What's that called? That's called rattling, you guys, and here's the video. It took me a while to find you one. Check this out. And they're a little quiet, so you got to listen up. So why would we want to rattle as a hunter? Way in the back, say it. Yep. So we could either bring in a doe, or could it be that I want the biggest buck in the whole area to come join my fight? Maybe that too, right? It's a lot of ways, but we're hoping if they hear that, usually the deer want to come check things out to see what's going on. It's a fun way to try hunting. Okay, now when I told you guys a story, I might have been trying to sound like this. What could that be? Hold on, way in the back. Let's be quiet so we can hear him. Go ahead, what do you think? Hold on. Shh. What? A cow elk. Bam. You guys, it's a cow elk. It's this gal right there. Now, here's what she sounds like. And listen up, she's a little quiet. Check it out. Super cool, right? So here's the deal. I've got a rope tied on here. Every time I go to Colorado elk hunting, I tie this to my belt loop. And about every half an hour, I'll just stop, and I'll do a call. Ooh, it stopped. And, uh-oh, I got to fix that. I'll do it, and then we'll listen. Sometimes the bull elk will call back. That's what we hope. But sometimes even the cow elk will call back. And when I took Lucky Luke a couple years ago on his first elk hunt, twice we heard it, and Luke said, I heard a bird, Dad. I said, no, it's elk. Come on. We go out to the fields, and the elk would be out there talking, and he kept thinking they sounded like birds. This call works really good to bring in elk. It's a fun one. Okay, just a couple more. Ready? What? Is that the tom turkey? Yep. Now, how many people have seen a guy like that out there, puffed up, right? And then he walks around like a little sumo wrestler, right? All right, now remember, bigger the beard, bigger the bird, right? Now the turkey I'm going to show you guys, I just think he thinks the call's funny, and he can't stop laughing. See what you guys think. Crazy, right? Look at the big beard on him. That's a big bird. Okay, we got a couple more. Here we go. I already gave this one away, but I'll do it one more time. Ready? Yep, it's the elk. And here's a bunch of them. Check them out. Listen to the cows in the background. Listen. He's giant. All right, I can tell you story after story about calling in elk for that. All right, we got one last call. You guys ready? Hold on, listen up. Here's the deal. I want you guys to pretend, and I know this isn't fair for me to say this, pretend it's freezing cold outside, even though it just warmed up, and you're at a bonfire, and it's pitch black, and there's a full moon above you, and you're cooking a marshmallow, and I want you to close your eyes and picture that, and then listen to this, and don't say what you think it is, but it's way more fun when you close your eyes, and let's guess what it is. Here we go. All right, what do we think? What do you think? A wolf. How many people think it's something other than a wolf? The guess is a wolf, something other than, what do you think? A coyote. Those are the two guesses we get every time, wolf or coyote, and it's one of those. Last chance to raise your hand. How many people believe it's that wolf? How many people believe it's a coyote? How many people don't know? It is a timber wolf. Woo. All right. How many people have ever got to see a timber wolf howl before? You got to see one? I did too, one time. Super cool. All right. You guys, hey, listen up. I got to give you guys an amazing credit. Guess what? I was at a school yesterday. Yesterday? Oh my gosh, 2 days ago. I don't think it was 2 days ago. I had 40 kids in a little auditorium, and you guys, they wouldn't let me finish. They were making so much noise. You guys come in here, 400 or 500 of you, and you've been amazing. So thank you for being so amazing and listening so great. Now, this is the challenging part. We are going to ask questions. And I'm going to try to do my best to run around as fast as I can to ask questions. But here's what happens with you guys. As soon as I go back there, you forget where I am. But that's okay. But if everybody can be a little bit quiet, I will run as fast as I can to try to answer as many questions as I can in about the 10 minutes we have left. Is that fair? All right. And we got a whole bunch of fun stuff, but we can get through them. So let's do this. So who's got a question they want to ask me about being an author or about hunting or about fishing? Yes. Go. How old am I? 54 years old. Crazy, right? Yes. Go. Yep. Oh, nice and loud. I still can't quite hear. Is writing? Oh, that's a great question. Never had that one before. Is writing a song the same as writing a book? I think it's very similar because you use somebody who's got some creative skill that simply puts something down on paper. I would say it's very similar, yes. Now, singing and writing, definitely different. I can't sing. Yes? How many animals have I seen? I've seen a whole bunch of different animals, but listen up, because I get asked this quite a bit. You guys, I've hunted deer and 23 other animals. So 24 animals total from all the books that I've got are different animals, from quail to ducks to all kinds of stuff, but 24 different animals I've gone after. Yes? Do I like writing the books? No. You guys, I love writing the books. No, I have so much fun. Remember, I forget about eating, drinking, and time. I love writing the books. Yes? Great question. How hard was it to first, you guys, this is such a good question. How hard was it to write my first book and to start it? It was the easiest thing I've ever done in my life, and that's why I couldn't believe it took me so long. Because oh my gosh, now I lost her name. Because Alice inspired me to try it, right? I sat down to write the story about my first whitetail deer hunt. I had a whole bunch of written in my journal, but because I experienced it, I sat there and flew through it. Literally in 2 weeks, I had the whole story written, and I sent it to Alice. And Alice, you guys just about fell off the phone. She said, what? She goes, it took me a year to write my first book. I'm like, I know, Alice, but these stories are right in my head. Super easy for me to write them because I love it, because I experienced them. Great question, yes? That's the rarest kind of deer that I've gone after? Or just in total? I don't know. If maybe an albino deer. That might be one of the rare ones. Yes? Oh my goodness, that's not a fair question. How many times have I missed? Not as many as my buddy thinks. No, they give me a hard time once in a while. I've missed a lot. I really have. Especially duck hunting. My friends give me a hard time all the time. Yes?
How many elks have you shot?
I've got 5 elk. Great question. Yes? Okay, go. My hair is red, the little bit that's left. How much is a series? That's a good question. You have to look on the website. I can't remember. I have no idea, but you can look on the website. Yes? Ooh, you guys, this is another one I get asked only once in a while. I've got one snake. I was in quail hunting in Georgia. We're walking around the grass. The dogs are moving. We're shooting quail, and all of a sudden I hear this. I'm like, what? I look down. There's a giant rattlesnake. I go, hey, there's a rattlesnake. My guy goes, well, is he alive? I go, yeah. He goes, well, shoot him. I go, what? Shoot him. I shoot him. He goes, did you hit him in the head? No. Shoot him in the head. He's going to still bite you. Come on. So I shoot him. I pick this rattlesnake up that literally was 4 feet tall, this big around, and he goes, oh, they kill our dogs all the time. You have to shoot them. I said, you didn't warn me of that. So do you guys think I tiptoed a little bit more delicately after that? Yes, that's my only snake I've ever seen, and I got it. I wish I would have kept it. Yes. How many adventures have I done? Not as many as my wife thinks. No, I've done quite a few adventures. So all the books you see, I've been on all those adventures. So a lot of them. Yes. Well, kind of. We went after grizzly bear in Moose Mania in Alaska, but we never saw them. So it's kind of a weird deal. So we were focusing on moose and black bear. The grizzly were going to be a side deal if we could figure it out. Yes?
How much money have you made writing books?
How can it be that every time I get to the older kids, that's the question that gets asked a lot. So how much money have I made writing books? You guys, it's very hard to make money writing books. Now, I've been blessed and so fortunate. I've sold over 360,000 books at $9 a piece. You do the math. So it's worked out fairly well. But it took me 8 years of not making a dime until COVID hit for me to explode and start making money. Yes? Oh, go ahead in the back. Yep. How many bear? I've got 4 bear. I think 4. I got to keep saying that. I got to go check, but I'm pretty sure it's 4. Yes? Quick, go. Have I ever shot a wood duck? Yes, I've got a number of wood ducks. Great, go. And you guys hang tight up there on 6th graders. I'm coming. I've never shot a wolf. Go. My first animal is probably a red squirrel. Go. My favorite adventure is probably every elk, all 5 of my elk that I've ever gotten in 25 years has been my favorite adventure. Whenever I get an elk finally, it's amazing. Yes?
Why do you write the stories about your son?
Why do I write the stories about my son? Well, they're mainly about me, but if I can write about my son or Crystal, I love doing that just because it's fun. Yep, I love it. Yes?
What's the biggest buck you've ever shot?
Oh my gosh, I think what he asked is what's my biggest fish? We'll get to the buck next. Okay, you guys want to see my biggest fish? Are you guys ready up there? All right, this will be kind of fun with this group. If I count to 3 and you guys clap 1 time, sometimes the biggest fish shows up, but this is a big auditorium, so I might fill it. Are you guys ready? 1 big clap. 1, 2, 3. All right, did it work? Okay, there we go. There's my biggest fish. So that is a 23-pound lake trout, and that's the book I'm writing right now. That picture is going to be in the book. I've only put 1 picture of me in all the books, and it's Snake River Challenge, if anybody saw it. That one's going to go in the book, but that's a 23-pound lake trout. That's why we call it Fishing for Monsters. But what I was asked is what my biggest buck was. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, there's my biggest buck. There you go. Great question. 6th graders, who's got a question back there? Can you say it loud? Hold on, listen up. What's that? Do I like cheese? Sure. I love little sharp cheddar, sure. Come on, we can get a better question than that. Yes. Hold on, listen up. Let's see if I can hear it. Go. How many type of bear? I've got, you know what, I think I got 3. I got 2 black bears and 1 cinnamon bear, we'll call it, but they're all black bears. Yes. What, a little bit louder?
Have you ever been to
The military? Nope. Have I ever been in the military? No, but I went to military high school. Interesting. Nobody's asked me that one before. Yes. My favorite animal, you guys ready? Hands down, my favorite animal to hunt is bull elk. I love them. They're so hard and they're awesome. Yes? You guys, what is my favorite book? It's a terrible question to ask me because I love them all. But if I had to split the hair and choose, First Deer Cheer, because it's all about Crystal's, all her deer hunting that we do together. I crammed it all in one weekend. And Graham introduced me to my friend Jesus. Those are my two favorite books. Yes? I got a 320-pound bear mounted in the basement. Yes? Do I like tomatoes? I do. I love tomatoes. Yes. How many bucks? How many bucks? I've shot 43 deer in my life and like 15 bucks. Great question. All right, go. Hold on, you guys. I know. Stick with me. We got a couple more questions and we're just about done. Go. What's that? I still can't hear anybody. Can we translate? What's what? Say it again. Why is my journal up there? I don't know if my journal's over there. I'm not sure. I don't know. Okay. Let's go over here quick. Couple more. Yes, go. Where are my kids? Crystal's in Georgia. Luke's in Rapid City, South Dakota. And couple more. Go. How long does it usually take to write a book? Another great question, you guys. Guess what? Listen up. This is a good one. How long does it take me to write a book? Usually 8 to 10 months by the time it's done. And that is fast, you guys. A lot of authors take a year to 2 to get a book done, but I keep trying to crank them through. Yes? How many coyotes? I've got one coyote. I got a full body mount of him with Lucky Luke's first deer leg in his mouth. I love looking at that mount. Yes? A what? No, I've definitely not. Yes. A bass? I've caught a whole bunch of bass. Absolutely. Yes. Go. Oh, you got a question? Go. Did I what? Have I ever, a cramp? A what? A clam. I have. I've caught a lot of clams. Yes. Go. What? Does my hand hurt? My hand doesn't hurt after writing a lot because I type everything out because I can't write very much at all. Yes. Hold on, stick with me. We're almost there. Go.
You ever seen a capybara?
A happy what?
Capybara?
I have not. Yes.
Can you sign my book?
I can't after. Yes. My favorite color is green because I love green. Yes.
What's the coolest animal you've ever seen?
My coolest thing I've ever, deer? Animal. You guys ready for my coolest animal I've ever seen? Are you guys ready? Yeah. Are we ready to clap? 1, 2, 3. There's my coolest animal maybe I've ever seen. That's my biggest elk. Great question. Yes, go. 156. My buck scored 156. Yes. Is it cool being an author? Oh, difficult. Another great question. You guys listen up, listen up. Oh, am I getting done? Okay. Another great question. Is it difficult to be an author? No, you guys. Listen. Anybody, whoa, if I can do it, anybody can write a book. The difficult part of being an author is trying to sell your books. But writing them and actually getting them published is not that hard, you guys. So have fun and write books. All right, couple more, go.
Have you ever got a 10-point buck?
I have. I've never got a 10-point buck.
My grandpa.
Super cool, yes. You've seen an eagle? I saw an eagle on the way here. Matter of fact, I saw 3 of them. Anybody want to see my biggest turkey? Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, there's my biggest turkey. Sometimes that gets asked. Hopefully, I'm going to beat that tomorrow morning. That was shot with my bow. All right, couple more. Who haven't I? Go, race loud. Hold on, listen up so I can hear. Hold on, shh. 1 second. What? A lot. I'll bet you I'd say 200 pheasants in my life. Quite a few of them, yep. A little bit louder. Oh, I played plenty of video games. I got Big Buck Hunter in my basement. Yes.
What's your favorite school to go to?
My favorite school to go to is this one right here. Yes. Where was I when I shot my biggest buck? In Bemidji, Minnesota. Yes. Do I like hunting or fishing better? I think I must like hunting probably a little bit better because I could never give up hunting. So I think I must like hunting a little bit more. Go. Where'd I get all that stuff? I found the antlers, I made the grunt call, duck call, and I bought the rest at the sports shop. Yes, go. My favorite animal is right there. The bull elk. Oh, there he is. That's my favorite animal still. All right. How much do we still got time? You got to yell at me if I got to quit. We close? We're done? Okay. We got to wrap up, you guys. I wish I'd do this all day long, but sorry. All right. Number one. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3. Ready? All right. We got to see this one. All right. There's my moose. All right. Now, listen up. I need you perfectly quiet for this. I am not kidding you guys. I'm going to tell you again. You guys were amazing. I've been to a lot of schools, and never could I have this big of a group hang in there like you guys did so we get through this and everybody could hear. You guys are awesome, so thank you for being so awesome. But I want you to remember 3 things from today. Number 1 is journaling cool. Yes, please journal, you guys. Something magical might come out of it. Number 2, does it take a team to write books? Please remember that, and hopefully you appreciate books just a little bit more after today, but more importantly, this is it. Forget everything else I told you. This is what I want you to remember. Have you heard that the more you read, the smarter you will be? I am here to tell you, it is 100% the truth. Listen, from this moment on, for the rest of your life, every single time you finish a book, you just got smarter, you guys. So find books that you love. Continue to read and continue to get smarter the rest of your life. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for allowing me to be here today, and I can't wait to see you guys again someday. Keep being amazing, you guys. You're awesome. Thank you. Oop. There we go.
All right, thank you guys for being a great audience. A huge thank you to Kevin Lovegreen for coming today and sharing his adventures with us. If you have a book that you would like signed, if you could come down the steps and across the front and out this exit over here, he will be waiting to sign any books that you might have brought with you today. Thank you guys again. Have a great day.